All right, welcome back to the channel, man. Gervonta Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa last night. Very good fight card. Gervonta looked good to me, man. There's a lot of people that are going to say he didn't look good, but look, man, that kid showed a lot of skill to me, in my opinion. Excellent fight, man. Yuriorkis Gamboa, I said before, I thought this fight was going to be a good fight. A lot of people thought it was just going to be some, just walk through you type of knockout. Man, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. And because I didn't underestimate Yuriorkis Gamboa, I'm very, very happy with the performance of Gervonta Davis. Let me talk to you about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Hey, if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you so much, everybody that's over on the Patreon. This video will be going up on Patreon. I'm moving a lot of my content to Patreon in a level where it's not going to be any charge. Trying to move a lot of stuff over there. So definitely you can check out this video and other videos that won't be available on YouTube over on Patreon. Also, thank you to everybody that is a member of this channel and everybody that supports OG Boxing Talk. Actually, it's going to be on this morning, Sunday. We're going to talk about boxing. We're going to talk about this whole week fight card with Blood Boxing, my partner, KQKC, Trap House, and my man, Curtis Anderson. So let's get into this Gervonta Davis thing. First things first, man. I thought that this was going to be a good fight, and I thought Yuriorkis Gamboa was going to come to fight. The reason why I thought that was because this was not something where he was taking somebody for, where he was going to take somebody for granted, like the Robinson-Castellano fight that took place on ESPN when he was just coming back. He looked terribly out of shape for Robinson-Castellano, and Robinson-Castellano beat him. Robinson-Castellano is also kind of an underrated fighter, but a difficult dude that it was easy to overlook. So other than that, Yuriorkis Gamboa hadn't lost to anybody but Terrence Crawford. And this was his chance to come back. If he looked good, or if he was able to beat Gervonta Davis, hey man, this cat was going to be back where he wanted to be, get more big fights. And I figured that the veteran who's a highly skilled fighter was going to come to fight and be ready to fight. Okay, so and I think we got that a little bit. Personally, I think Gamboa got beat up. And then Gamboa was doing a lot of stuff, really trying to survive. And the reason that he made it 12 rounds is because, shoot, he held his shit because he has a decent chin. That's what I think the guy made it that far through the round, because that far through the fight, because he never really connected with Gervonta Davis. But Gervonta Davis was hitting this guy with everything but the kitchen sink. And there were several things that I like about Gervonta Davis. I'm telling you, I do believe this guy is one of the most underrated, technically sound, excellent fighters in boxing. Look, man, this guy, and you can listen to what he said about, what he did in the post-fight press conference when a guy asked him, you went away from your jab for a while. Why did you go away from your jab when it looked like you were having success? And he said, look, I was giving him different looks. I gave him jabs, and I was hitting with the jab, scoring with the jab to the body, jab up top. And I went away with it and I started hooking him, or I think he might have said that he started, kind of dipping on the inside and hitting him with hooks. But then later on, he went back to the jab, and then the jab started hurting him again. But he was just trying to give Yuriorkis Gamboa different looks. He talked about when he saw that Yuriorkis Gamboa could take his shots and he just wasn't going to go away real easy. How he bided his time. He just started touching him. And these are all things that an intelligent boxer does when they're in with a guy that isn't just going to go away. Now, at the end of the day, Yuriorkis Gamboa did go away. Gervonta Davis got the knockout, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I thought it was an excellent fight, man. I did not, and I think this is a mistake people make in boxing, or when they're as fans, okay? I'm talking from the fan perspective. When you think that a fight is just going to be something where a guy is just going to run through somebody, and then he doesn't run through him, then you're like, oh, well, he did something wrong, because he didn't run through this guy like I think he should have run through this guy. Gervonta Davis should have had him out of there in 3 rounds. Man, Yuriorkis Gamboa is a professional fighter, man, and this cat knows how to survive. He knew how to survive. It's not like Yuriorkis Gamboa was just going at Gervonta Davis, trying to knock Gervonta Davis out, and he was like, hell, man, it's my way or the highway. I'm gonna knock this guy out. I don't give a fuck what I gotta do. That wasn't what Yuriorkis Gamboa was doing. Yuriorkis Gamboa, for large stretches of that fight, was getting hurt, holding, grabbing, pulling Gervonta Davis down, sticking his head down, walking forward to him, and pretty much trying to survive and land some shots here and there. Because whenever he opened up, he was getting tagged. I mean, but you cannot expect, if you have a standard that if a guy doesn't knock somebody out in the first round, he's a failure. You go into the fight saying, hey, if he doesn't knock this guy, I got this guy getting knocked out in 5-6 rounds. How many times do you see that doesn't take place? Predicting that somebody's going to knock somebody out in the first or the second round, but oh man, it goes to the 7th and 8th. And then you listen to the commentators, and I'm going to try my best in this not to get too hard on the commentators for Showtime, because Gervonta Davis invited this a little bit when he missed weight the first time in, but they talked about this guy's lack of conditioning the whole fight as if he looked like he was, first of all, it's a 12-round fight. It's a 12-round fight. You're throwing punches, you're holding, you're pushing, you're going to look a little bit tired, but I never saw any point in that fight when I thought that Gervonta Davis looked like he was just dead, exhausted. And towards the end, you could see clearly in the 11th round, and when he came out and stopped him in the 12th round, that he poured it on in the late portions of the fight, man. But what he did was, like the young veteran he's becoming, he knew how to pace himself through 12 rounds so that he could have that left at the end of 12 rounds if Yuriorkis Gamboa was still there. So, I mean, for me, all in all, man, I thought the dude looked good. Now, it was funny because if that wasn't, Jack Let Him Die Reese out there, that dude might have got stopped. He might have got stopped already, man. He might have already got, Yuriorkis Gamboa could have been out of there a couple times if Jack Reese, but Jack Reese did, I give him credit. Jack Reese didn't let Yuriorkis Gamboa quit when his shoe broke. And please don't somebody, I know somebody's going to say this in the comment section. Yuriorkis Gamboa did not have a ruptured Achilles, okay? If he had a ruptured Achilles, he literally would not be able to move his foot, okay? He wouldn't if it was ruptured. And I do believe, now somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that ruptured means it's a complete separation. It's a complete tear, right? He didn't say he strained his Achilles tendon. He tweaked it, right? Something like that. It ruptured, it burst. Your foot would be dangling if you had a ruptured Achilles tendon, and you literally would not be able to walk. That fight would have stopped for sure with a ruptured Achilles tendon, maybe a slight tear in it, possibly. But no, man, excuses, dude. And now Yuriorkis Gamboa, I do think, did enough with that to show that he isn't completely done. He can get some more shots. He'll probably get another shot, be able to fight on the PBC cards. All in all, man, though, that card, I thought that was an excellent card. All the way from this cat, man, what is this dude's name? I've got to check my notes. That I thought was a really good fight. Leo, what's his name? Leo, young, I think he's lightweight, 140-pound fighter, Leo, who knocked out Juarez. Man, that was a good fight. Obviously, the Badu Jack, Jean Pascal fight was excellent. And I'm telling you, I think that is a harbinger of what would come if Errol Spence Jr. fought Terrence Crawford. When Errol Spence Jr. fights Terrence Crawford, remember that fight between Badu Jack and Jean Pascal. Remember it, because even though Errol Spence Jr. is a much better version of is much better than Badu Jack, and Terrence Crawford is a more highly skilled than Jean Pascal, that fight, the way that fight looked, the styles of that fight looked to me exactly how I imagine a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford going, where you have one guy that's athletic, throwing, with fast hands, going to the body, going up top, having success in that way. But you have another guy who is very, very fundamentally sound, who is walking forward and putting pressure on the other guy, and over time starting to land heavier and heavier and heavier blows, with the exception of this. Errol Spence Jr. is not a fast starter. I mean, is not a slow starter like Badu Jack is. And he's much better at cutting off the ring. But like I said, both of those, and there's obviously a lot of things about Terrence Crawford that is better than Jean Pascal. But at the same time, dude, they look a lot alike. A lot alike in that ring to me when I looked at that fight. And I just kept thinking, man, that is how that fight is more than likely going to play out. A really, really good fight with some swings in it. But, anyway, we'll see. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.